the Ciarb Lca Msme scheme launch. The scheme is a joint expedited ADR MSME scheme that provides quicker, cheaper, and more convenient paths to resolution of disputes, justice delivery, and its enforcement other than litigation. We shall commence with opening remarks from the chairman of the CII Nigeria branch, Mr. Olatunde Busari, SAN, Chartered Arbitrator, and the president of the Lagos Court of Arbitration, Dr. Adewale Olawoyin, SAN, Fellow of the Chartered Institute. We will then hear from a panel from both institutions who will speak to predetermined questions that users of the scheme, and indeed those of you who have joined us this afternoon, might have. The panelists are Mr. Juwon Adenuga, FCIAB, the chairman of Ciarb Nigeria Scheme Committee, and a member of the LCA board. Then we have Dr. Adeyemi Agbelusi, FCIAB, Public Relations Officer of Ciarb Nigeria branch. Another member of the panel is Mrs. Yegide Oshokeye, FCIAB. She is the Secretary of Ciarb Nigeria branch. And the last panelist will be myself. My name is Oluwatosin Luis, and I am the Executive Secretary of the LCA. We will now listen to the opening remarks from Mr. Olatunde Busari, SAN.
Good afternoon, all. President, LCA, Dr. Adewale Olawoyin, Senior Advocate of Nigeria, the Board of Directors of LCA, the Executive Committee of the Chartered Institute of Arbitrators, and all the members of LCA and the Chartered Institute of Arbitrators, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. You are welcome to the launch of the joint LCA, Chartered Institute of Arbitrators and LCA joint expedited ADR MSME scheme and the signing of the MOU between both organizations. MSME, the Micro, Small and Medium Enterprises Arbitration Scheme, was first launched in 2017 and developed to promote and facilitate access to cost-effective ADR and arbitration for resolution of commercial disputes by small enterprises. The scheme is intended to provide a simple, cost-effective, and timely means of dispute resolution, and it is tied to be commenced and then concluded within stipulated strict timelines. In the course of the webinar, you will find out, or the speakers, facilitators will tell you about the timeline within which this expedited ADR and arbitration will be commenced and concluded. But the intention is such that small claims will be presented through the scheme and resolved expeditiously. This initiative is also to support the Ease of Doing Business initiative of the federal government of Nigeria and to develop effective dispute resolution in the commercial sector. Further to the launch of the MSME scheme, both organizations, I mean Ciarb and the LCA, started exploring ways of working together on the scheme to ensure that the knowledge and expertise of our members and the several mediation and arbitration rules and facilities of the LCA could be better deployed for the benefit of the business community. Today, the signing of the MOU signifies the beginning of a collaboration between LCA and the Chartered Institute of Arbitrators, which will lead to more training, more experience and exposure for members of both organizations. And it will also boost the efficiency and capacity of the LCA in fulfilling its core mandate of providing access to ADR services. The signing of the MOU is also significant because with the COVID, the way means of dispute resolutions must be efficient, and basically more of dispute resolution, online dispute resolution, should now be encouraged. This scheme offers the advantage of being deployed remotely and virtually, and this will, of course, enhance the administration of justice, and it will speed up, it will make efficient the means of dispute resolution, particularly small claims disputes. For proper enlightenment of the ways of the method and ways by which this scheme will work, we have organized a webinar, and we have invited experts on this scheme to answer all the questions that may be agitating the minds of users and practitioners of ADR and dispute resolution. We therefore encourage the business world and all stakeholders. We encourage professional bodies, we encourage lawyers to make use of this scheme and to use it as a complementary means of dispute resolution. So, while I thank you for joining us today, please have a great day, stay safe, observe all the WHO guidelines, and then we hope you benefit a lot from this scheme and from this webinar. Thank you very
much. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. If I may just add a few words to what the chairman of the Chartered Institute has said. This scheme is essentially a recognition of the importance of small and medium-scale enterprises in the economic development of Nigeria. And it is extremely important that such enterprises have easy access to justice. And it is clear to us that rather than such enterprises given the very nature of their businesses to be bogged down with litigation might not be the best thing. So it was clear to us that coming up with this kind of scheme would greatly enhance the ability of these businesses to continue to impact on the economic development of the country. So the LCA is very, very proud to be associated with this initiative. It's into our strategy. Many the scheme is a successful for all the users of alternative dispute resolution. So again, I also, on behalf of the LCA, thank everybody for joining us, and I'm sure that the facilitators or moderators will speak more to why MSS should join this initiative. Thank you very much.
Good afternoon. My name is Juwon Adenuga. Now, let me just give you an overview of what this scheme is all about. The mandate common to both LCA and Ciarb is the promotion of processes to resolve disputes other than litigation. Now, we are determined that no person or individual or corporate body involved in any contractual relationship shall be inconvenienced out of justice or priced out of justice, no matter how small the amount of money in any dispute that arises is. We have observed that a lot of disputes go unresolved in the micro, small, and medium-scale enterprises sector. Therefore, we developed this cheap, fast, and very convenient dispute resolution model for the sector. And we ensure that it will still guarantee final, binding, and enforceable decisions in settlements of disputes. The general process will involve dissolving disputes before they escalate or resolving them by their best fit once you get to us. Disruption of economic activities as a result of unresolved disputes in this sector is a big concern to us. That's because the sector accounts for about 48% of Nigeria's gross domestic product. It accounts for about 84% of economic activities in Nigeria and about 96% of employment. So really, when there's any disruption in this sector, it is not good for all of us. Therefore, we have done something that we believe anybody can take part in. We don't need, because we think that the amount involved is small, we'd rather go to police stations to find some means of using intimidation to resolve matters. No, we have this, and everybody can be happy that are engaged in employment. So please, we urge you to avail yourselves of our hospitality. To throw more light as we go on, I think I will ask Mrs. Oshunke to explain what the expected role of Chartered Institute is in this scheme. Mrs. Oshunke, could you please help us out here?
Okay, as you're all aware, the Ciarb is a training institution. Therefore, in this project, we shall be co-trainers of training workshops for case managers, registrars, and the panel of neutrals that will be involved in this project. We will provide all with the knowledge and expertise that they would need to be able to participate fully in this project. The Ciarb will deploy fully trained, skilled, competent, and experienced personnel to plan and organize these trainings for all who will be involved, and to ensure that such personnel shall operate in a safe, good, and work-like manner. The Ciarb has commenced all or most of their trainings virtually. We have also started training of arbitral secretaries, our associate trainings, all virtually. We're going to ensure that all who will be involved in this project will have ODR expertise, so that when we have matters that require online expertise, all of our members will be hands-on and will be able to participate. We may also have some walk-ins that may insist on in-person meetings. We'll ensure that all our members of the Institute are fortified with the expertise that they require to ensure that they're able to handle this scheme. We have an online training coming up on the 27th and 28th of this month. And those who may want to participate in this scheme, whether as a case manager or a registrar or on the panel of neutrals, to avail themselves of these trainings so that they will be well fortified to be able to participate. We have reserved for the Ciarb YMG and the LCA YAN the positions of case managers and registrars so that they can be well trained and well mentored to be able to participate in this scheme. So if anybody is interested in participating, kindly avail yourself of all that you require in terms of both online dispute resolution expertise so that you will be well prepared to participate. Thank you. Now I will ask Tosin Lewis, who is the Honorable Secretary of the LCA, to tell us what is expected, what is the expected role of the LCA in this scheme. Tosin.
Thank you, Mrs. Oshukeye. The role of the Lagos Court of Arbitration, the main role of the Lagos Court of Arbitration is to provide the secretariat for the scheme. Now, we will provide both the virtual and the physical platform for the running of the scheme. So inquiries about how the scheme is to be run, the administration of the scheme, administration of all cases that come under the scheme will be done by the Lagos Court of Arbitration. We would also co-train with Ciarb, as Mrs. Oshukeye has explained, our members, particularly at LCA YAN, who are willing to come under the scheme as case managers and registrars, and also members who will be willing to be part of the panel of neutrals. So we will provide the framework for submission of disputes, the framework for the administration of disputes, the framework for costs and pricing. Everything will be provided by the LCA. Dr. Agbelusi will tell us some more about this procedural framework.
Well, thank you very much. The MSRE scheme has been conceived to basically handle low to medium value disputes. We're looking at a range of 250,000 to 10 million naira maximum. So most of the matters will be screened initially, and some will be sent to the mediation track, some will be sent to arbitration, and some may actually be a made-up procedure. In all of this, the rules of the Lagos Court of Arbitration will apply. So the time-tested rules of the LCA that deals with the mediation, especially expedited rules, which were launched 4 years ago, the expedited rules on mediation, expedited rules on arbitration, and the expedited rules on the made-up will apply to most of the processes that come under this scheme. The fees are fixed as advertised, so any party entering into this scheme can already predetermine what the amount of each value in dispute will come to. Also, administrative costs and arbitrator's fees or mediator's fees are already pre-advertised. So it's already set before you even apply for the scheme. Most of the matters will be handled by sole arbitrators, so sole mediators will be also exited with a final binding award or settlement within 90 days. The statement of case and the witness statements will be limited in terms of words, and more often than not, the document-only arbitration will be recommended, except parties opt for an oral hearing. The amount of legal fees that a successful party can also recover will also be predetermined, so that basically what this scheme offers is a framework that ensures that the parties to the dispute know what the costing, the time, and all the expectations of them coming onto the scheme will entail. Also, if you choose to come to mediation without legal representation, the scheme has been simplified so that you can actually represent yourself. So the rules of the LCA for the mediation, arbitration, and MEDAM will be the procedural framework for this, especially the fact that you can get your award or settlement within 90 days. So in entering this scheme, your entry, your exit, and all the costs are actually pre-advertised and will be adhered to. I would like Mrs. Oshike to talk about how the proceedings will be held, whether virtually or in person.
The proceedings for this scheme will be held mostly virtually, although we still have some existing cases that parties prefer in person. We will consider those who insist that they want the proceedings to be in person, and we'll have to ensure that we obey all social distancing rules. We all know that both arbitration and mediation are voluntary, and it's up to the parties really to decide what type of proceedings that they would wish for. But we would advise that most of the proceedings are done virtually so that we can be sure that we keep safe and we keep the social distancing regulations of the state. So we can have both in-person and virtual proceedings depending on the wish of the parties. Now, I'd like to ask Ms. Lewis to describe briefly how the scheme can be assessed, existing and future disputes, and the attached pricing and costs.
Thank you, Mrs. Oshikoye. For existing disputes, parties would be required to complete submission forms, which would be available on the websites of both institutions. And then the website will also have directions for the parties as to how to submit their disputes to the scheme secretariat. So if you have a dispute, visit the website, you will find submission forms there that both parties must subscribe to, and you have further directions as to what you need to attach and how the fees would be paid. For fresh contracts, the scheme would have a model clause. Model clauses would exist, which would be available on both websites also. So new contracting parties would be encouraged to include these model clauses in their agreements right from inception, so that when a dispute arises, the route to dispute resolution is clear and unfettered. I will briefly give a range of the pricing and the costs of this scheme so that the audience would have a better view of how affordable and cost-effective the scheme is. Now, for disputes ranging between 250,000 naira and 1 million naira, the arbitrator's fees is capped at 50,000 naira, and then legal fees, all other recoverable costs for the parties is capped at 25,000 naira. For disputes between 1 million naira to 2 million naira, arbitrator's fees is capped at 100,000 naira, and other recoverable expenses is capped at 50,000 naira. For disputes between the range of 2 million naira to 5 million naira, arbitrator's fees is capped at 250,000 naira, and other expenses is capped at 100,000 naira. For disputes between 5 million naira to 10 million naira, which is the top limit for this scheme, arbitrator's fees are capped at 500,000 naira, while other recoverable expenses are capped at 150,000 naira. So the scheme is designed to ensure that there is access to quick, efficient, cost-effective, inexpensive justice. So we've done the pricing in such a way that everyone can access this pricing. It's cheap. Let's use that word, cheap. It's cheap. And so we encourage everyone to come on board. I would ask Mr. Junwadenuga to tell us some more about the benefit of the scheme in terms of accelerated justice delivery and the resolution of disputes.
Yes. Again. If one was to go by litigation, there are formal processes that you have to go through. However, the way we will be operating is when you appear before us, you will have the benefit of advice of going through what the disputes are. And as I said, we will come up with the best fit for you. For instance, if we realize that you merely need mediation, we will advise you to go through mediation. If it's arbitration, we will advise you to go through it. And the whole purpose is to make sure that it's cheap and quick. And if these things have to be done online to make things easier so that you're not commuting and spending money on accommodation and all sorts of things, it will work. And we shall be working closely with the Justice Department of Lagos State, for instance, so that the minute you have a decision here, especially litigation, it might just be as good as a court decision. And so things are going to work pretty quickly. And I will just still invite you to avail yourself of our hospitality. Join us and you will see how fast things can work. Now, I would like to invite Dr. Agbelusi to tell us a little about what he thinks the future holds for ADR practitioners and the business community.
The takeoff of this scheme has actually brought into the ADR space two of the largest players who handle several hundreds of disputes annually. The Ciarb is the gold standard in alternate dispute resolution in terms of training and the quality of the professionals who bear the letters after their names. So having the Lagos Court of Arbitration, which of course is the flagship of ADR in this community, having them come together with the Ciarb has brought a formidable force to the market to which people can access the various schemes that these two organizations offer, and in particular, the MSME scheme will give businesses a low-cost, effective, and predetermined access to resolving disputes that arise. So when businesses are out of pocket, it means they're not working, they're not making profits, and the economy is slowing down. Arising from the COVID-19 pandemic, we know that there will be challenges in terms of distribution, logistics, and various contractual matters will need to be sorted out. Now, the benefit of this scheme coming on board now is not a new scheme. It's just that the two bodies are coming together to offer this service to the community. So this partnership and this synergy will give the business community either small scale, those who have 250, 500,000, which could mean a lot of money to them, and those who go up to 10 million in terms of their disputes will have a predetermined, available, affordable, accessible, timely, and enforceable decision that helps them to get back to business. I've always said that commercial matters have no business in the courts. And so this gives the business community a very strong and efficient avenue to resolve their disputes and get back on track. The flexibility of the scheme in terms of representation, in terms of the process, either mediation or arbitration, gives you a lot of opportunity to explore in terms of what your budget is and how quickly you want your dispute resolved. Now, these two bodies will offer more training, more exposure for their members. Many of the young members of the institute are unable to get to be appointed or to write any awards, which also affects their moving forward with their fellowship. So now you have more opportunities to members to practice mediation, practice arbitration, and it's a win-win for both institutes, both for the Court of Arbitration and for the business community and for the Nigerian economy. Nigerian economy in the last few years have been focused on the ease of doing business and driving that index downwards. This is a plus to the community because now we can have easy access to justice, especially where it concerns commercial disputes. So I must indeed congratulate the president of the LCA and the chairman of the Ciarb for the foresight in bringing these two bodies together. The young arbitrators, young mediators will definitely have the opportunity to learn from the older ones as they work together, both as empaneled mediators and arbitrators and also as case managers. So all in all, the ADR community in Nigeria and of course worldwide will again have the opportunity to grow a new generation of practitioners. The key takeaway of this scheme also is that members of the public don't need to now go to the police, for instance, to file criminal complaints in terms of commercial matters, just to get a decision. So you can now have a walk-in process, and if there's an existing dispute, and if it's a future dispute, you can incorporate the clause in your contract so that basically existing or future disputes can be referred to this scheme and justice can be done. So I want to urge the community to please take every step to ensure that this scheme is well patronized and that we can get our ease of doing business more efficiently done. We should go for the signing of the scheme now. So I want to invite the president of the LCA and the chairman of the CIR to the signing of the scheme.
Good evening, everyone. it from here. Good evening, everyone. We have come to the end of this event. But before we go, I would like to say thank you to the Lagos Court of Arbitration for collaborating with the Ciarb Nigeria branch on the Ciarb Lca Msme scheme. I thank members of the Executive Committee of Nigeria branch and the directors of the Lagos Court of Arbitration for taking out time from their busy schedules to be here for the launch of this scheme and the signing of the MOU. I thank our speakers, Mr. Olatunde Busari, SAN, Dr. Adewale Olawanyi, SAN, Mrs. Yejidok Oshukeye, Dr. Adeyemi Agbelusi, Ms. Tosin Lewis, and Mr. Juwon Adenuga for the insights they have provided into the Ciarb Lca Msme scheme. I believe that we'll be all be going away from here with a better understanding of what the scheme is about. Finally, I say thank you to all the participants who have logged in to be part of this event. We look forward to having you assess the scheme. Please continue to be safe and adhere to the world's WHO guidelines on COVID-19. Goodbye and God bless.